2022 is coming to a close, surprisingly. The year went pretty quick.
We've had a crazy year. We've been out of our home country, home state for 9 months out of the year. Been one of the craziest years of our lives up to this point. So we thought we'd share with you if you haven't seen like every single one of our vlogs.
Why haven't you?
Yeah, come on. I expect you to have the hours and hours and hours and hours of time to watch them all. We thought we'd share with you a review of the year for us.
Follow us along on our journey of 2022 so you can follow us along in 2023 and see where we go. If we rewind us back all the way back to New Year's 2022 at home, Minnesota, eating some New Year's stuff. Maybe we went to like a restaurant or something.
Probably.
And then we knew that on January 9th, we had a 3-month Airbnb booked in the country of Georgia, which we didn't know much about and nobody we knew anything about.
At this point, we were K-pop and geography reactors as well, just for a little context on that. We had a travel vlog channel. We were not consistent one bit on it. We planned to make vlogs in the country of Georgia, but we didn't really have like a plan for the channel of the Trifate lifestyle.
We packed up our PCs, our entire PC setups, and our entire lives into 4 bags. We have been up all night packing our bags, trying to get everything fit into 4 bags each. Our entire life packed up in a couple bags. We've had to make some sacrifices, unfortunately, but we're getting there. We went through the negative, in the negative 20s temperatures.
Fahrenheit.
It's cold! And headed straight to the airport. Nervous, first of all, that our bags would be too heavy, and about what was to come when we got to Georgia.
It was we were cutting it close on the bag cutoff, but luckily we did make it. We flew across the world, some long flights, but we made it. Our bags made it. Would have thought they made it fine, but after we got scammed out of a very expensive taxi and opened up our bags, my computer was no longer functional, and Tyler's computer took some hefty dings as well.
Despite our losses, our computer losses, dun, 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 rip our computers, we made a new friend, a fluffy little white, yellow-beaked friend, and we headed out into Georgia, exploring the city of Tbilisi for 3 months. The weather was all over the place. Sometimes it snowed, sometimes it was beautiful, and sometimes it was windy. Despite that, Georgia was amazing. Georgia was fun. The food was delicious. Some of the most delicious food we've eaten.
One of the most underrated cuisines in the world? Look at these amazing foods. Oh my god.
Georgian food. They had a surprising amount of international food from all over the world. It was food crazy.
Tons of sights to see just in the capital city. Even though it wasn't a massive city, there's lots to do for us there. Yeah, it was a really, really cool experience. At this point, we're still reacting to K-pop.
After 3 months of reacting, exploring, it was time for us to leave to different waters as Russia, the invasion of Ukraine and Russia, forced the prices in Tbilisi to rise because a lot of the Russians were leaving Russia to come to Georgia and live there. We just bought a car that we were planning to take around Georgia and through Europe, but everything had to change. Our Airbnb was coming to an end. And after planning for days, like all night we planned, we were gonna go to Kazakhstan, we were gonna go to India, we were gonna go to Dubai, we were gonna go to Europe. We just, every country you can think of, they can fly to from the Middle East, we were gonna go to. And then eventually we're like, let's go to Dubai. We're gonna leave. We bought the tickets for 3 days later. We had a road trip on our hands to the Kutaisi airport. We left all of our belongings in the airport parking lot. We got our 2 backpacks, headed in. We're going to Dubai for 10 days, we thought.
Landed into Abu Dhabi. Our plan was like 3 or 4 days in Abu Dhabi, 2 days in the countryside, and then the rest of the days, like the 5 days in Dubai. And we did the first half of that, but once we got to Dubai, we just kept extending our hotel, we wanted to do more videos there. We wanted to see more of the city. We also had to edit a ton of videos and react, and this is when we started to want to get travel vlogs going as well, so we wanted to edit travel vlogs. So we ended up extending all the way up until we could. You could stay there for 30 days without a visa, and that's what we did. We did not expect we had to stay that long, but we were surprised by how cheap the hotels could be.
This is the room. Less than $30?
So we thought, why not? It's a very cool city. Let's stay here even longer.
Down to the last day of our visa, we were scrambling, trying to find tickets. We already got a visa to India when we were in Georgia. So we had that in our back pocket. So we knew we'd probably end up going to India at some point. That was the original plan. And the original plan was go to Oman and then to India. But we ended up planning to go to Oman until this last day. Did we flip it because we wanted to go to the monsoon in the south? So we're like, wait, we can do this on the way home.
Yeah, I think so. I would guess that was why.
But anyways, so we decided not to go to Oman. We're gonna go straight to the Philippines at some point, but the flight was terrible and the prices weren't great. Then we're gonna go to Thailand. We decided not to go to Thailand. We tried to go to Saudi Arabia. We tried to go to Mumbai, and then it ended up going to the small, not very small, city of Mangalore.
It was a very interesting city. We got in late at night, very late at night. We were the only foreigners there. The visa process, they definitely weren't used to getting foreigners in that city, so we had to sit in customs for a long time. We were the last ones in there. Very late. We wanted to get a SIM card, but we couldn't because it wasn't open, so we had to just get an airport taxi. Craziest taxi driver ever. This dude was flying down, not necessarily mountain roads, but like hill roads. He was flying down, going like 40, 50 miles per hour down curvy roads, just honking about. But then we finally made it to our Hotel Mangalore International, got some nice sleep, and then explored the city. It's a very unique city. Definitely the most extreme culture shock we had experienced up until that point.
We went to the beach, ate a bunch of different foods, experienced the friendliness of the locals.
Oh, photo?
Yeah.
Is it? Hello.
And then spent a lot of time there, 2 weeks, a lot more than we expected, reacting, editing, just kind of preparing ourselves to where we're going to go next. And after a very short, like 50-minute flight, we flew over to Bangalore. And Bangalore was Mangalore on steroids, you could say.
The chaotic version of Mangalore. Tons more people. I mean, the population was so much larger. The city was so much larger. There was so much to do in this city. So much food. We had some amazing food in Bangalore. So much international cuisine. We had a lot to explore, and we did explore a lot, but we still didn't get to do everything we wanted to in that city. We ended up spending a lot of time having to sit down and edit vlogs and edit and edit and edit. So we didn't get to do everything we wanted to. And then at that point we realized, wow, we're editing a lot and not traveling as much as we want.
Okay, so the thoughts were thinking at one point to go to Bangkok and sit there and just edit for a while and just kind of stay there for a couple months. Because at this point, we were just trying to find a nice cheap hotel for around $20 a night. And as we just kept extending it a couple more days. And then I was like, should we just go home? We're traveling, but we're not really traveling. We keep going to these cities and we sit there for the majority of the days we spend in the hotel room. We could just go home and prepare for the next trip and then go on a whim. Like within, where I was like, let's do it.
Said we'd do it that night, and then we planned everything, and then we're like, let's just wait a day. And then the next day, we bought everything. It was very expensive, the most expensive flights to get back. But we were like, let's just fracking do it. Whatever it takes, we're gonna go back. Hopefully get everything sorted out with our car, get prepared for the next trip, and we just decided to go for it.
The last day in Bangalore, we made the most out of it. We had a whole day from morning to night. We went out, we went to the highest rated restaurant in Bangalore. This really didn't sit well in the stomachs. And then after that night actually at 3 a.m. we headed back to Dubai. And in Dubai, unfortunately, I discovered I had food poisoning at Denny's. We had a nice unlimited pancake buffet
Tasty.
at Denny's, which really triggered the food poisoning in me, and I was out for the whole time we were in Dubai for a nice 4 days. Headed to Georgia, had a nice couple days in the beautiful greenness of Georgia, and then it was a nice 20-hour flight and an 8-hour layover in Germany all the way back to Minnesota. It was terrible, the worst, and we were jet lagged for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we literally could not get a solid sleep schedule going for a long time, but we finally made it back. We did exactly what we wanted to, just chilled out a bit there, and that's when we started getting the vlog channel going. This is when we started editing the India. We first started editing like tons of the Georgia vlogs, getting all those finally posted. Then we did all of our Dubai, UAE ones, got those ones finally posted, and then we started India, which really took off the channel at that point. Mangalore, it started a bit slow, but then the whole city seemed to come and watch all of our vlogs. And then we posted the Bangalore videos, and everyone loved those as well. And this was when we finally were like, okay, maybe we can travel vlog as well as be reactors.
So at this point, before we started posting the India vlogs and we really saw that, oh yeah, our channel, it can work. We bought our tickets to the Philippines. Before this, we bought them in early June. I think around June 17th, we bought the tickets for August 17th. And so we were ready to go to the Philippines. We told everybody we were coming to the Philippines, but things just didn't add up for us. The timing just didn't work out. The prices didn't work out. Every time we tried to fly from Georgia or Dubai or India to the Philippines, it was the most expensive flight. So finally, we found decent flights to the Philippines and we took them. While posting all these vlogs, we just went and we played tennis every day, went to the gym every day. We were doing what we wanted, which was go home and get in shape and play sports and do stuff and stay with the family. We surprised them when we came home. They didn't know we were coming at all, which was pretty cool. Went to like the 4th of July party, all this stuff, and then after all the vlogs were posted, it came the day back to Asia.
We had a extremely long flight again. We had to actually separately buy the tickets to LA and then from LA to Manila. But the LA flight, nice 3-4 hour flight to LA. And
nice Spirit flight.
We had a long day in LA to spend, and we got to enjoy some tasty food there and do a nice little tiny bit of sightseeing. I don't know, we didn't really do much in the city. And then we were off to Tokyo.
Oh, Tokyo's so epic! Did we have so much fun there?
Yeah, we got to spend an hour and a half in the airport.
Sick.
And then we went to Singapore. Oh my gosh, Singapore, amazing city. We got to spend about an hour, and most of it was walking across the airport.
It's a big airport.
We actually landed when our flight was supposed to leave to the Philippines from Singapore. We just had to walk across the whole airport, and then we still had time. Then from Singapore to Manila.
Wow.
That was, I remember it being dark in Singapore, and by the time we were in Manila, it was bright again.
It was like 5 a.m.
It was hard to take into account what time it was ever, but it was a long journey there.
We popped a lot of melatonin on that flight, and it actually worked really well. We slept a large chunk of that Tokyo flight.
And that was the long one.
So we got rid of that, like 8 hours of that were just erased, which was really nice. Like, I can't even tell you how much worse that flight would have been if you would have been up those 8 hours. But yeah, so we're in Manila and we stayed in Quezon City. I mean, you guys, if you watch our Philippines vlogs, you kind of know how we went along. Explored Quezon City, then slowly started going around Manila, and we've really just been exploring Manila this whole time, going to malls, eating a lot of food, a lot of food, ordering a lot of food pandas, and it's just been a journey along the Philippines. It's been fun. Oh, and then we had to do the whole thing of figuring out how to extend our visa for a month, and it's been a process, but we've figured it out a little better now. Those first couple months we were very confused.
Oh yes, extremely confused about a lot of things. But with the visa, we found out that basically the best system for us, while still wanting to travel, was to extend our visa for 1 month, because if you extend it for more than 1 month, you need an ACR card, and it also costs more. So we extend it for 1 month, get that extra 29 days that they give you, and then we'll leave and come back, get that free month back once we come back, and extend it for 1 month again, leave, come back. So this allows us to continue traveling while also staying in the Philippines, and it was the most cost effective for what we wanted to do. So the first place we decided to go to was the cheapest flight, to Kuala Lumpur.
Oh.
Well, not just the cheapest flight, the cheapest trip we could probably take was to Kuala Lumpur.
Once again, you can watch our vlogs of this. It was just kind of nice city trip. We went there, hit all the sights of Malaysia, did some cool things, ate some cool food. It was a nice trip. It really got to get the feel of Kuala, which we call it. It's a koala bear city.
Everyone seems to not like that we call it koala, but
get used to it.
Koala, koala, koala.
Qui-Gon City. Then we came back from Malaysia, and this is when it really got complicated, because the whole plan was to come back from Malaysia and then go to the provinces. We planned to go to Baguio. We literally planned out 2 to 3 week road trip to Baguio, and we later on, when we figured out we probably can't do that because the weather up there was really bad, and a lot of people were saying the weather's not very good up there, it's really rainy right now. We're like, okay. Then we planned a week-long road trip down to Batangas and Tagaytay, and then figured out that without a passport, you can't rent a car, and since he's not 25, there'll be a young driver fee. And I needed to send my passport to the embassy because it expires in July, and you can't get back into the Philippines if it expires within 6 months. So I had a window. This was my only window to send my passport to the embassy to get it renewed. So it takes 6 weeks to get it back. And we only had 8 weeks before we were deported from the country, and we had to go to Vietnam.
And he could not renew his visa any longer because he did not have his passport to renew his visa.
So we could do nothing really. We went to Antipolo. It wasn't too far. We could easily take the public transport up there. And we couldn't rent a car. We couldn't fly anywhere because I didn't have a passport. And my passport, we didn't know where it was. I heard absolutely nothing.
No updates.
For 5 weeks. It was stressful, and during this time we were looking for condos. It was the month of infamy, we can call it.
This month was very hard to continue editing videos consistently while doing all this stuff, and it led us to changing our upload schedule, which you guys have seen now. It's practically every other day. If you want to hear about the whole condo buying process, we have a whole video on that. But just to summary it took a month to find a condo, and then it took about 2 weeks to decide which condos we wanted and get settled into them. That was quite the journey, and then by the time we were finally settled into our condos, we had our flights to Vietnam.
And my passport came 1 week before we left to Vietnam, finally.
For a little info on the Philippines travel restrictions, you need to buy an outbound flight before you land back in the Philippines. So we had to buy these Vietnam flights when we came back from Malaysia. So it's always a weird game of we have to plan our next trip while we're doing our trip before. So we had this at a set date. We couldn't refund it or anything. So we had to go at this set date, and it ended up not lining up very well because we were experiencing all these troubles of not having Wi-Fi, not having this, and then we go to Vietnam. But it was a very cool trip nonetheless.
It was cool. We got into Vietnam. We really tried some interesting foods in Vietnam, like soups. We don't eat very many soups, but we got some soups in Vietnam. I mean, this series is coming in a few weeks, the Vietnam series, so be ready for that. It was quite an interesting city. It was really different than anywhere else we've been, like really different. So it's a fun place. Hopefully you enjoyed the vlogs. Those will be coming soon. And then we came back Christmas here in the Philippines. We're only in Vietnam for 4 days technically. We had to, once again, we don't plan these things right before it happens. We have flights to another place because we needed to get flights before we came back. It's the requirement, or else they make you pay a ton of money.
And sometimes we saw that on restrictions on different countries and we never did it, but the Philippines, they've asked every time.
Every time.
Do you have your outbound flight? And we have to show it every time. So we definitely need them, and we don't like wasting money, so we're not gonna buy the refundable version just so we can get like 90% of the money back, and we're not gonna not take the flight if we can't get the money back either.
Unless it's back. Singapore.
Which ends up saving us money because the hotels were insanely expensive in Singapore. Expensive. We already have our next trip, our next place where we're gonna go planned. That'll be quite the surprise when it comes in. You guys will probably see the vlogs in like 2 months or something like that. 2.5 months maybe.
Here, Christmas, we've been getting around this place during Christmas has been insane. It took us 3 hours to go to Okada. That vlog is also up. Getting back, going to the mall to just go grocery shopping takes multiple hours just because walking from where we are in grass takes a while when there's so many people, and then the lines are really nuts, really nuts.
They're really nuts. We're filming this on the 26th, so we're gonna be very curious how much it'll simmer down after New Year, I guess. But the New Year is gonna come soon. We're curious to see how the fireworks are gonna be here to start off the new year. 2023 is coming, and we're excited to see what's gonna happen next year, because it's safe to say, if you listened to this whole story, that we never have any clue where we're gonna be 2 months in advance. So I can't imagine what could happen in the next year.
Anything. Last night at Christmas dinner, we planned some stuff for January, and it's gonna be pretty sick. Planning it as we're filming these videos. We got something very spicy and very special for you guys coming, and we're gonna leave for it in like 2.5 weeks.
So if that gives you any hint what is 2.5 weeks away from December 26th, then you can figure that out yourself.
You can! So hopefully you guys have followed our adventure throughout. If you came from the K-pop channel or the geography channel, hopefully you have enjoyed all the videos. As you guys know, we are back to posting videos on Trifate, and Trifate Geo, hopefully we'll start posting some more videos on there as well, and we'll be back to the consistent upload here coming pretty much right now. It's just the holidays has gotten crazy, because yesterday we had a big feast, a big Christmas Christmas feast. Look at all this stuff we ate.
Wow! That's quite the dinner we had.
That was quite the dinner. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos, and hopefully you continue to enjoy the videos in 2023. Duck will be there with us along the journey.
He will have his first birthday coming up very soon.
True.
If his birthday is when we discovered him, it'll be very, very soon. So we're going to celebrate Duck's birthday. Hopefully you guys can join. We'll maybe post it on the Instagram. Go check out the Instagram.
We'll have a Instagram live Duck's birthday party, January 10th.
He'll do a Q&A. He'll just be sitting there talking to you guys.
That's what we should do. That just set it up and it's just on him. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next year. Bye.